In the year 2015, a rising star emerged on the American horizon, a true monster from the vast steppes of Kazakhstan. Leaving a trail of destruction in his wake, he terrified all middleweight contenders around him. But Gennady Golovkin still had yet to make a name for himself in the broader boxing community in his first pay-per-view fight. Many predicted how challenging his ascent to the ring would be, but after the 26th of July, an opponent willing to face him finally emerged. David Lemieux from Golden Boy Promotions. Lemieux was not just another stepping stone. By the time he faced Golovkin, the Canadian maintained an impressive record of 34 victories, with 31 of them coming by painful knockout. His track record was the best evidence of his fearless punching power, and all the pieces were falling into place. On the other hand, Golovkin had established his undisputed reign in the middleweight division, defeating heavy hitters like Gabriel Rosado, Curtis Stevens, and others. But when the Canadian knockout artist joined his ranks, analysts' concerns were real. This fight would be the toughest test for Golovkin at that time. Would he be able to pass it successfully? Welcome. In today's video, I invite you on a journey to the past to witness up close the bout between Gennady Golovkin and David Lemieux. Get comfortable, because the adventure begins right now. Full of confidence, Lemieux took on an egocentric stance before the fight. He assured everyone that he would effortlessly dethrone Golovkin. Like a true gentleman, Gennady refused to engage in provocations. The Kazakhstani titan abstained from any kind of vocal trash talk, allowing his fists to do the job of proving his worth within the discipline. Despite Lemieux's smear campaign against Golovkin, he failed to become the favorite heading into the match. With odds of 7-1, Gennady seemed the clear winner for the general opinion, but not even these predictions could help anticipate the brutality that would unfold in the ring. David Lemieux never saw what happened on that fateful night for his professional career coming. The stage was set, the fighters were ready. With thousands watching around the world, two titans prepared for a spectacle that would seep into the annals of boxing history. On October 17, 2015, the historic Madison Square Garden trembled with anticipation as the fighters entered the ring. The Canadian faced the challenge without showing a single sign of fear, but the moment Gennady's name was heard, a flash of concern seemed to reflect on Lemieux's face. Golovkin marched to the ring like a man with only one thing to do: dig a grave to bury his next victim. Amidst the roar of the crowd, Michael Buffer announced the fighters' names once more. Thus the bell rang, signaling the start of the fight. First round. Both fighters measured their opponent's guard. Lemieux showed more boldness, pushing Golovkin back a couple of steps. However, Gennady was more cunning. He allowed David the freedom to showcase his fighting style early in the bout, to study him and devise a solid strategy. By the end of the round, Golovkin began to contain Lemieux's offense. Making him retreat until he collided with the ropes a couple of times, the Kazakhstani titan was ready to switch to attack mode. Second round, Golovkin's left hand broke the ice. Lemieux continued to try to assert himself, but the counterattack stopped his impulses. Gennady's good combinations began to excite the audience and hurt David. During the last 30 seconds of the episode, Golovkin showed total dominance over Lemieux. Third round, Lemieux tried to set the pace of the fight from the start, but it was quickly taken from him. Gennady's firm stance in the center of the ring made it difficult for his strategy of trapping him against the ropes to work. Lemieux entered and exited, as if fearing to stay for close exchanges. And how not? Golovkin's attacks were aimed directly at his face and occasionally seemed to land unimpeded. Fourth round, Golovkin started dominating the round. His attacks forced Lemieux to move around the ring. With good combinations, David sought to penetrate Gennady's guard. Unfortunately, he did not execute them with the necessary force to break his walls.
Watch your heads, watch your heads.
Golovkin began to emulate a predator, stalking his prey. He put Lemieux in trouble by momentarily trapping him against the ropes and delivering combinations with the potential to knock him out at any moment. The Canadian idol seemed to start running out of ammunition to attack the Kazakhstani titan, and that was a big problem. Fifth round, Golovkin was the leader of the ring's center, and Lemieux orbited around him. Gennady's fists began to be as strong as to knock him out of orbit. David tried to contain Golovkin's offense with body shots, but to no avail. The last 30 seconds of the episode turned into a real hell for the Canadian idol. Retreating until he found himself against the ropes, it was the rebound that left him on a silver platter to be devoured by the Kazakhstani titan. A brief but decisive combination was enough for him to kneel before his master. Lemieux seemed to have lost the sense of time and space, but he managed to recover before the safety count ended. As the fight resumed, Gennady quickly cornered him against a corner. With only 5 seconds remaining, David learned the meaning of the phrase, "saved by the bell." Sixth round, Golovkin's offensive became incredibly more violent, contrasting with Lemieux's cautious movements around the ring. Gennady had really started to punish David, making him move tirelessly until he was against the ropes. A right punch made him crash. Lemieux seemed like paper. His counterattacks were executed in survival mode, but it was too early in the contest for that. During the last minute of the round, Lemieux tried to take control of his destiny, but it was already sealed. Seventh round, Gennady was getting tired of playing, and his combinations were the clear sign of it. Lemieux was clearly hurt. After the minute mark of the round, the referee called for a ring doctor review due to his alarming nosebleed.
Time! Come in, David. Come in. Doctor!
After getting the green light to continue, David knew he had to go all in. If he kept taking punches, his wound could worsen and make him retire from the fight. But by seeking the attack, he unconsciously put himself in the line of fire for Gennady to also find the opportunity to take him out of the fight. During the last minute, Golovkin actively sought to corner the Canadian idol against the ropes. His movements bought him some time, but his tragic end was already around the corner. Eighth round, Lemieux attacked to try to keep Golovkin at bay. Diminishing his momentum, Gennady tactically sought the best opportunity to let go of his fists. Strategically advancing, he narrowed the battlefield for David until he found himself against the ropes. He didn't want to intimidate him, he was ready to trap him in a deadly trap. By the time Golovkin's combinations started raining down, Lemieux was already lost. Against the ropes, he made the greatest effort possible to prevent Golovkin's tenacious blows from hitting his body. Unable to do so, and showing no signs of being able to defend himself, it was not the bell that would save him now. The referee noticed that Lemieux was only still standing out of inertia and decided to stop the fight. It seems that it was Gennady who managed to defeat his opponent without any effort. There is no doubt that the outcome of this encounter will represent a lesson in humility for David Lemieux and all those who allow themselves to learn from others' experiences. The Kazakhstani titan allowed his fists to have the last word and left his opponent with no right to reply. With his face almost intact and still plenty of energy to give, Gennady Golovkin was celebrated in the ring, while the conceited Lemieux had to be quickly attended to evaluate his wound before the loss of blood became significant. If you've made it this far, I thank you. Did you enjoy our journey into the past? Remember that there's no better way to support my content than by leaving your like on the video. What other Gennady Golovkin fight do you think should be on the channel and why? Did David Lemieux really have any chance of beating the Kazakhstani titan? I'll read you in the comments.